"Sir, we're asking you to move to economy." The flight attendant snapped, eyes cold, arms crossed. All heads turned. He was the only black man in first class, dressed in a tailored charcoal suit, calmly flipping through a financial magazine. "May I ask why?" he said politely, adjusting the Rolex on his wrist. But they didn't answer. Two attendants whispered near the galley. One finally muttered under her breath, "We need the seat for someone more appropriate." They had no idea. In 5 minutes, they would ignite the biggest PR disaster in the airline's history, because they had just humiliated the founder and CEO of a $20 billion tech empire. Jalen Carter had boarded quietly, blending in. A warm smile, a nod to the gate agent. No entourage, no press. Just a man fresh off, signing a massive international merger. He was calm, humble, not one to flaunt titles. But make no mistake, he wasn't just rich. He was powerfully respected. Yet today, Jalen wore anonymity like armor. Seat 1A was printed clearly on his ticket. He sat peacefully, reviewing presentations for a keynote in Berlin, until a white couple walked in, visibly annoyed. They glanced at Jalen, then at each other. The husband leaned toward the flight attendant, whispered something with a smirk. She nodded, and the quiet storm began. A flight attendant marched up, stiff and unreadable. "Sir, there's been a change. We need you to move to 23B. Jalen looked up slowly, confused but composed. "There must be a mistake. I'm in 1A. It's my seat." "No, sir. A VIP needs it. Please comply." No apology. No explanation. Just cold indifference. Jalen exhaled, nodded, and stood. The white couple slid into 1A and 1B. They didn't say a word, didn't make eye contact, as if he was invisible. But someone saw everything. A teenage girl in 3C had recorded the entire exchange. Shocked and furious, she turned to her mom. "That's Jalen Carter," she whispered. She uploaded the video mid-flight, using in-flight Wi-Fi. Her caption, "Flight attendants just kicked the richest black CEO out of first class." It exploded. Within 15 minutes, TikTok was flooded. Black excellence demoted. Corporate racism at 30,000 feet. CEO and coach. Meanwhile, Jalen Carter was sitting in 23B between a mother with a fussy baby and a sleeping college student. He didn't complain. He didn't even frown. He smiled at the baby, helped the mom lift her diaper bag, opened his laptop, and kept working. The flight crew had no clue. They had just displaced a man who owned 3 private jets, a man followed by 90 million people across platforms. But karma was cruising at altitude. Comments poured in. "This is why we record everything. Loyalty status canceled. I just pulled my stock." By the time the flight landed, the airline's nightmare had begun. An emergency boardroom meeting was called. Executives in chaos. "We've lost $80 million in pre-market. Our app's down." Who was on that plane? Someone Googled. A photo of Jalen Carter appeared. The room went silent. Oh God, we demoted him. Panic. Press conferences were scheduled. Damage control initiated. A corporate spokesperson stepped up, sweating bullets. They called it an unfortunate internal error. But no one was buying it. One news commentator said it best. If he were white in a hoodie, no one would question him. But a black man in a suit? He's suspicious. And the damage? Irreversible. Jalen Carter sat in his office days later, being interviewed live on national television. He wasn't angry. He wasn't even bitter. "I didn't speak out to shame them," he said. "I stayed quiet so the world could speak louder." The room fell silent. He didn't file a lawsuit. He didn't call for a boycott. Instead, he quietly donated $5 million to create a national youth scholarship fund. He called it Seat 1A. That single act of grace turned him from a victim into a legend. Headlines swirled. Airline loses $500 million after humiliating black CEO. One seat, one moment, one lesson. In 48 hours, the airline's market value plummeted. Celebrities spoke out. Passengers canceled memberships. And influencers began sharing their own stories of discrimination in the skies. The world didn't forget the airline's name. But Jalen Carter? He never spoke it aloud. He didn't need to, because now he owns shares in 3 of its competitors. And when asked about the incident in a later interview, he smiled and said, "I don't hold grudges. I hold gates." The camera zoomed out, revealing him on a private jet runway. A plane took off behind him, and the sky finally knew his name. If you believe respect should never depend on skin color, drop a airplane departure in the comments. And remember, one moment of bias can cost more than just money. It can cost a legacy.